NFL is just a few short weeks away, and Run Pure Sports is gearing up for the season with the best deal in DFS.
For a limited time only, we are offering new members a 15% discount for the life of their subscription, including SaberSim subs. Simply use the promo code NFL15 when subscribing to take advantage of this great deal before our prices go up.
And at RPS, we don't just give you access to one sport. When you subscribe to our premium service, we give you access to all of our content, including NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, and so much more.
And we're not going to charge extra for access to our preseason content either. Our memberships include all of our content, including the NFL preseason. The best DFS players in the industry give you access to their core plays and slate strategies for every sport and for every slate. Simplify your lineup building process by plugging in picks directly from the top players in the world. Watch our premium live streams to gain a huge edge on the competition. Our guys are live up to lock for the biggest slates, walking you through their last-minute decisions, analyzing breaking news and injury alerts for the major sports.
Again, for a limited time only, you can access our industry-leading DFS content for 15% off our already low price. SaberSim packages are included, so sign up today using the promo code NFL15 for 15% off your subscription for life and start building winning lineups today.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Breaking down this main slate today, we got 8 games on FanDuel. We got 9 games on DraftKings. DraftKings is including the White Sox and the Royals game. Pretty interesting slate. I mean, yesterday, man, there was loaded pitching, every single tier pretty much. Obviously, you expect after you see a bunch of aces, pitching is not nearly as good as yesterday's slate, but it's an interesting one. There's still a couple guys that I think there's Verlander on the slate, Alcantara, definitely some good options. Coors Field is on this slate as well. Yesterday, not the team everyone expected went off in Coors Field. It was the other side of the game. Definitely hurtful over here since I'm always on the other side, the lower owned. Of course, I don't go to it and look what happens, but should be a fun slate. Excited to dive in and talk about it. As always, hit that like button for us, please. Hit that subscribe button. We got our boy Joey Work. We got Snyder in chat. We got Alan Hayes, Jim, Kevin, Social, Michael Knack. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us. Like button, subscribe button. Like I said, we do appreciate it. Gary, I'll throw it over to you. We talked a little bit pre-show. We got an early slate. I bet you a lot of people are sweating that out. Main slate, initial thoughts on it. You were on vacation. We haven't seen you in a while. What's going on in your world?
Yeah, so my nephew graduated from Paris Island Marine Corps boot camp last week. Exciting times for him. So he's all excited to be a man, he said. I'm excited that I went there to be a man. It was quite the experience for him. But yeah, back to pick some winners here. So yeah, early slate. I think we got a lot of members that stacked the Mets with JD Davis, who just hit that home run. And I think a lot of our members are toward the top of the leaderboard who followed DC this morning. He was five-man stack in the Mets with JD Davis one off. So yeah, we got a lot of members looking to bring it home. They're hoping that San Diego game stays quiet. I am not hoping that game stays quiet. I 5-man the Padres. So we'll see how it shakes out. And yeah, this slate tonight, completely different than last night. I mean, we had so many pitching options. And today, I mean, there's a lot of pitchers, but I think I only really like 3 of them. So definitely looking forward to seeing what y'all's takes are here. And yeah, get to it.
Absolutely. Love hearing, I wasn't in the early streets either, but love hearing DC's core absolutely going off. Should see some members up top. Things you love to see. I don't know. I think I got to cheer against you on this one a little bit, Gary. I think I got to cheer for the members that are all the way up there. Hope this Padres game stays quiet too. But for your sake,
I'll just ship tonight. It's fine. I'll just ship tonight. It's fine.
Yeah, it works perfect like that, man. What's going on, man? Yesterday's slate was absolutely crazy. Tons of games. Still a good amount of games on this slate with the 6-game early slate, 9-game main slate. Pretty good for sure. A lot of action in the MLB streets. What's going on over there?
Yeah, we got day baseball today. We got night baseball. And then we got day baseball again tomorrow. We'll have a show for you guys too as well. And we got the one thing to mention is we got the Run Pure Bets golf show that we normally do. It's going to be on the Run Pure Sports channel today. So be sure to check that out tonight. We will be live. I believe it'll be at 8 o'clock. So yeah, be sure to check that out. We got golf winners, obviously Big T. He did the premium show already. Looks like his content's up already too. So we got tons of stuff to get ready for, and tons of sports to sweat this week.
You're saying Big T's golf stuff's up, not his baseball stuff, right?
All his golf stuff's up. I know that.
I was going to say baseball, there's no way.
No, the baseball stuff, not yet, but the golf stuff's up, right? It's so, but the golf stuff, sometimes you don't get it till like midnight. So just let the people know it's up, it's live. I'm sure, he's crushing it today, right? Maybe the baseball stuff is up an hour early too. You never know. So be on the lookout for that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Check out the Mangone. He's on the Bet show or usually it's the Bets show for golf. You said it's on the Run Pure Sports channel today. So make sure you check it out. 8 p.m. Eastern. 6-man booth. Dunkel always makes a show very fun hosting. Mangone, Snyder, Allie, Kurt, and Uncle T. Hopefully everyone's there today. Always a fun. If you like to tune in for some laughs, good time. They pick some winners. So check that out today. Who do we got? Mullen, Chad, complimenting Gary's beard. Love to see that. Anfers at JSU had a great core, winning some money with. Richie Smalls in here. Rico, love seeing everyone in here. Appreciate you hitting the like button for us. Appreciate you hitting the subscribe button for us. But let's dive right into it. Again, 9 games on DraftKings, 8 on FanDuel. DraftKings has the Royals and the White Sox game. As far as weather, it looks like the Baltimore game is the most concerning. I'm gonna assume as usual on this show that every game's gonna play fine. We're way too far out right now to be breaking down the weather, but in Discord on the Up to Lock show, they'll talk about it as something comes up. But that's the one game I think to keep in mind, the Baltimore game, maybe Miami, Philly a little bit, but let's talk. Assuming everything does play, starting at pitcher as always. Justin Verlander headlines the slate, 10.5K. Sandy Alcantara right there at 10.3 as well. The clear 2 best real-life pitchers on the slate, best DFS pitchers on the slate usually go hand-to-hand. 8K and above, though, Gary, I'm going to go to you first. Kyle Wright, you can talk about him. I do not have interest, but you're the Braves guy. Nick Pivetta against your Braves. You mentioned Ryan Peppo. How do you say the name again? Say it again. Pepio. Thank you. Yeah, we were talking pre-show. Drew a blank. 6.2K on FanDuel for Pepio, 10.3 on DraftKings, a major price difference over there. So talk about the upper tier. Talk about what you're doing with him on both sites, 8K and above.
Yeah, so I'll start right there with Pepio. 6.2K on FanDuel. Man, that's way too cheap for him. His last 2 starts in the minors, he went 7 innings, had 5 and 6 Ks, no earned runs allowed. So he can get the quality start over there, no problem. It's just, do we need to go all the way down there today? I'm not quite sure where I'm at on FanDuel yet, but he's definitely an option. I'm not seeing too much ownership on him over there. And on DraftKings, I can't pay that price tag for him. Just rather get up to Verlander or Alcantara, who are both great options here. And speaking on those two, Verlander is probably going to be 60-70% owned on this slate. I would assume something close to that. Alcantara probably be at least half that. So there's a good opportunity right there to leverage. And I'm not really scared of this Philadelphia team. They've been hot recently. The lefties have really been hitting the ball really well against right-handed pitching. But Sandy, faced this team 3 or 4 starts ago, put up 35 DraftKings points. He's the leader in the clubhouse right now for the National League Cy Young Award. He's just a beast, and he can dominate. And he goes 7, 8, 9 innings. I think he has 3 complete games on the year, and nobody else has more than 1. So, just the longevity there. His strikeout rate's not what the other guys are, but like I said, the longevity makes up for it there. So definitely love those 2 guys. And going down here, Kyle Wright, 9,900. I can't do it. His strikeout rate is only like 13 or 14% over the last 30 days. This Boston team hits the Braves quite a bit. Verdugo hits the Braves pretty well. Arroyo's been on fire. Devers in that lineup. I'm not paying that price. Any of these guys, even Johnny Cueto, 9,100. Not sure why he's that price, but no thank you. Sonny Gray at the Dodgers, no thank you. Nick Pivetta against the Braves, no thank you. So everybody above 8K, it's just Sandy and Justin for me, and I'm going to have probably equal exposure to both.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think I'm pretty much on the same page. Mangone, same thoughts, same question over to you. 8K and above. Is it just Verlander and Alcantara? And then we can find some options down below. I think there are a couple options down below as well, but man, I'm not seeing too much besides those two. Gary's not seeing too much. Talk to us, 8K and above.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems pretty simple up top, right? Either play Verlander or Alcantara, or you just kind of load the boat on both. Like, let's start with the other guys. So like Ryan Pepio, like I don't really want to play him at that price tag of 10.3K against the Twins. I do know Gary mentioned before the show, I believe before the show started, he's really cheap on FanDuel. I think he's 6.3K. I know the Discord chat's talking about it right now too. So obviously he's more in play over there than he is on DK. Kyle Wright, 9.9K. I mean, I just don't think this is a ballpark I typically want to target. Kyle Wright is not really this huge strikeout guy. He does have a 5.5K strikeout prop, but I think I'm out on Kyle Wright. No need to go there. Johnny Cueto is not really someone I'm looking at a roster at 9.1K. If he was a little cheaper, maybe I'd consider it. Sonny Gray, we've seen him have some good games here and there, but is the Dodgers matchup the spot to pick on? Probably not. Nick Pivetta against Atlanta, does that make much sense? Probably not. I'd rather take Atlanta bats in, Boston. It just makes more sense. So at the end of the day, it's Verlander and Alcantara. So two things I would look at. I would be looking to play Verlander over Alcantara if I had to pick. Like, which one's my favorite? It's definitely Verlander. Matchup against Texas is just really good. Projection's really good. You got the strikeout prop is 7.5 compared to 6.5. So overall, I'm on team Verlander over Alcantara. But if you want to play both, like I think you put both onto your pool and you build out your teams, what I think is an important thing to do is lock them both and then see what teams you get. Like, go and look what Atlanta Braves stack you might be getting. You might not be getting like a great stack with it. Like, make sure you're getting in those priority bats, set some rules. Those are things that I'm going to look at. When I look at like playing a team with Verlander and Alcantara, I want to make sure I'm getting exposure to a good offense, but I'm also getting exposure to the good bats as well. So that's always something to think about on this slate. I am curious to hear what you guys think of like the guys below 8K. Typically, it's one of those slates where I think you are not supposed to eat these like chalkier guys in the lower range because they're just going to gain, more ownership than normal. And you're supposed to find some other pivots. The problem is the pivots are really bad. It's just not that great. So we can definitely talk about it and try and dig in and find something, but it's definitely rough down here in this lower range.
I'm going to go to Gary then. It sounds like you want to hear what Gary has to think first about this bottom range. We talked a little pre-show, but the guys below 8K that I think will get some ownership, I think the two highest owned will be Madison Bumgarner against his Pittsburgh team, 6.9K, and then Noah Syndergaard at 7.9K against Miami. Man, Syndergaard, you know what happens. You walk him or he gives up a walk, he gives up a single. It's pretty much a double. I mean, everyone steals on this guy, which definitely is a concern. I don't love playing Syndergaard, but the price tag, I mean, man, if you can't get to Sandy and Justin Verlander, which makes sense, you are saving a good bit going down to Syndergaard with one of them. Like I said, there's Bumgarner right there. Jose Berrios against Baltimore if weather's fine. Chris Bubik all the way down there, 5.5K, Gary. Again, only on DraftKings, not available on FanDuel in that game. But talk about 8K and below and who you like at pitcher.
Yeah, so I'll start with the two chalkier options down here, and Madison Bumgarner and Noah Syndergaard. I use the last 30 data a lot for pitchers once we get the season rolling here. And those two pitchers have the highest xFIP of any pitcher on the slate, of any pitcher on the day, including the early slate. Noah Syndergaard's got a 5.1 xFIP. Madison Bumgarner's got a 4.74 xFIP over the last 30 days. And like Travis said, this is the kind of slate where, you're going to have these chalky, mediocre to bad pitchers. It's just very easy to go somewhere else. And I like Chris Bubik here a lot tonight. He's all the way down at 5.5K against this White Sox team that just has not done anything at all this season. He's a lot better versus right-handed batters. And guess what? The White Sox put out a lineup full of right-handed bats, nine of them to be exact. So this is a perfect lineup for him to just get us 15 to 20 DraftKings points and move on about our day. That's kind of the ceiling and what I'm expecting here tonight from him. But at 5.5K, I like that a ton. I will mention one more guy down here just because Steve Boynton was trying to talk me into him. I looked into his last 30 numbers, and they do look pretty decent. But I'm kind of biased against picking on the Orioles, but Jose Berrios has been really good. His advanced numbers look really good over the last 30 days. He's got a 3.2 xFIP and a 28% strikeout rate and only a 5% walk rate over the last 30 days. This Baltimore team, man, they got some magic going. I'm not sure I'm going to do it because, I mean, man, they just got something in their veins. And, so those are the three. Those are the two guys for me. I'm going to be on Bubic and Berrios, and I'm going to be fading Noah Syndergaard and Madison Bumgarner.
I like it. Man, going 8K and below. Again, Syndergaard and Bumgarner, I think will come with the most ownership. Gary likes Bubic, Berrios a little bit. What are your thoughts on 8K and below?
Yeah, I do think Syndergaard and Bumgarner definitely get the most ownership, like it's being talked about. If you look, those implied totals are both around 3.5. Syndergaard 5.5 strikeout prop. Bumgarner 4.5 strikeout prop. His is heavily juiced on the over. Syndergaard's is more juiced on the under. But the point I'm getting at is these are two guys that people are going to look at. And if you look at all the alternatives, it's rough, right? Jose Quintana in Coors. What are our thoughts on that? Clearly not the greatest idea. Think I'm out on that one. The Jose Berrios idea is intriguing because of how good he can be against righties. The problem is, what are his issues? His issues are against those lefties. And Baltimore has been hitting the ball well, and they have some pretty good lefties in that lineup, right? Santana's a switch hitter. You got Mullins. Adley, Rauschman. So, there's so many different guys in that lineup that can get the job done. I think Berrios has the highest, one of the highest ceilings in this range, right? I'll at least mention that. So if you are shooting for a ceiling, I understand taking the shot, but also understand what that floor could be. It could be a disaster. So it's definitely something to be concerned about. Obviously, we talked about Bumgarner a little bit. I know Pittsburgh roughed up Arizona a little bit yesterday. I could see them doing that again here to Bumgarner, and it could be some interesting leverage in this spot. Mitch Keller's up next. Am I dying to play Mitch Keller? The one thing I'll say is his projection isn't great, but it's a 4.5 strikeout prop, which is similar to some of these other guys. And Arizona, are you really scared of those bats, right? I'm typically more, I don't know how worried I am about this lineup, right? So I kind of want to see what lineup they put out. I don't think it's that. Oh, it is out yet. So they got Jake McCarthy, Alec Thomas, Marte, Walker, Varsho. The bottom, though, is not great, right? Rivera, Beer, Kelly, and Perdomo. Again, we're trying to find something here down in this range for dirt cheap, right? We're trying to find some kind of differentiator. So that's why we're talking about all these guys. The next option to discuss is Aaron Savale. And it's because, hey, it's just the matchup, right? Detroit against righties, they typically struggle a ton. So if you want to take a shot on Savale, I don't think it's the craziest idea on this slate. Their implied totals around 3.5. His strikeout prop is 4.5 also. So again, there are some interesting guys in this range that are just not gaining any ownership, really. It's going to be single digits about. So Dean Kramer, not really interested in him. He gets pretty beat up by righties. And what do the Blue Jays do? They beat up right-handed pitching. So I think I like Toronto way more than Kramer. Let's go to Kyle Freeland and kind of mention him for a second, just because he's good at pitching in Coors. And is there any leverage opportunity? We're trying to create things, right, Title? I'm not saying I'm doing this today, but I'm trying to talk through scenarios. Are the Cardinals owned enough on this slate to take a shot on that? Because he knows how to pitch in Coors and he's a ground ball pitcher. Probably not, because I just don't think the ceiling's there. That's the issue I have with him. Glenn Otto, he has a 4.5 strikeout prop. Again, we're looking at guys that are going to be chalk, like Syndergaard with the 5.5 prop and Bumgarner at the 4.5. So we're looking at other guys that have similar props that can go the distance. Glenn Otto can go long enough. The question is, can he get through Houston? And yes, I understand his projection is dreadful on this slate. It's absolutely terrible. But we're trying to find options here that are different. And we're kind of taking the approach that Gary's taking, and that Hoop takes a lot. He just punts the pitcher completely to be able to get in all the bats that you want, right? That's kind of sometimes one of the approaches to take. Let's say that Verlander has a really good game, and Alcantara just gets you I don't know what his projection is around, 15 to 18 DK points. Is that breaking his slate? Wouldn't you maybe take, instead of spending 10.3K, wouldn't you maybe take Bubic or Glenn Otto getting you 12 DK points or 10? I'm not saying that's what I want on this slate, but the point we're getting at is I want to make sure that I'm, doing my homework. I'm making sure that I'm looking at these cheaper guys and seeing what my stacks look like. What do the Verlander Alcantara stacks look like compared to the Verlander and maybe a Bumgarner or a Syndergaard, or maybe the full-on punts? Because at this point, pitcher is not great on this slate, and it might give you a completely different construction from the field and give you some really good power bats that other people can't get. So overall, pitching is really rough on this slate. Verlander, Alcantara are definitely my two favorites. And then we got to try and find some guys in this cheaper range. I think maybe it's Savale who can go long enough. Maybe it's Berrios. But I don't know, Title. Let's see if you have any takes on it. I know me and Gary talked about it, but again, we need to find some really like contrarian pitchers, I think, down here rather than eating like the Bumgarner and Syndergaard chalk, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I do like Bubik. I wouldn't get to Syndergaard, especially at that ownership in tournaments. I'm good with Bumgarner right there. Again, he's definitely going to get ownership too, but I'm good picking on this Pittsburgh team right now. Savale was the one that I thought I expect him single-digit ownership. The one that I did look at a little bit, against Detroit, we do like targeting righties against Detroit. You pull up his game log, you do see a couple 20s in there. Man, you see some negatives in there as well. That's why his floor ceiling is that. I mean, he doesn't have a high floor at all. He can't get you 20 though on this slate at his price tag at lower ownership. So he would be the one I do like down there. But man, I think trying to get the Verlander Sandy pairing up top again, I don't think it's going to be too popular because there's some bats to pay for in this slate. You look at the Cardinals, you look at some of the higher implied totals, and there are a lot of expensive. There are some expensive hitters in those stacks that you would want if you are playing the expensive stacks. So you plug in Verlander and Sandy, you're left with $36.50 for your remaining for all your bats. And I think that might be a little uncomfortable for some people. So I think that's my favorite route to go. I do like the Bubik call though. I'm definitely fine punting all the way down there. Verlander is going to be by far the highest owned on this slate. So I don't mind like a Sandy Bubik pairing right there. It gets you way different already. You still have some upside and you can spend on bats. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it there. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll get to Syndergaard and GPPs. Bumgarner fine, Bubik fine. Savale would be the only one, but I definitely don't love that. Let's rank pitcher. I think Verlander and Sandy are all of our favorites. So let's go top three besides those two. Man, I'll go to you.
Oh, top three besides those two. You are definitely making it difficult. Aaron Savale is going to be my number one. I'm kind of crossing off Syndergaard and Bumgarner. I'm really just diving into like playing the ownership play here with some of these guys down in this range. So I'm going to go Savale number one. I'm going to go Mitch Keller number two, mainly because like I just kind of looked at some stuff and like Mitch Keller, his big issues, like he's been fine against, like if you look at Arizona, they have a 22% strikeout rate. If you look, his issues have been against like the power lefties, and like I think he can get away with some of these guys here. He doesn't walk a ton of batters, right? So at least he feels like he'll get like that 5 or 6 innings in. So I think I'm gonna take a shot on Mitch Keller, as crazy as that sounds, is like number two. And then number three, I'll just go with Chris Bubik as like the full-on punt. I don't love picking on the White Sox with a lefty typically, but they haven't been great this year. So, and again, it's like the full punt, and we know he can go long enough, right? That's kind of what I'm looking for here when I'm taking these cheaper options.
Makes some sense. Gary, same thing to you. Top three, no Verlander and Sandy. You might make sure your mic's plugged in.
I'm a rookie on mute. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so yeah, I didn't touch on Savale earlier, but I definitely wanted to touch on him here. He's definitely, he's an option. He's coming off the IL. I don't think he started in 3 or 4 weeks. I think he pitched 4 innings in his rehab start. So I wouldn't expect much more than 4 to 5 innings here.
Well, there you go. I'm already off already. I didn't even know that, to be honest. So I appreciate it.
I think 5 innings is probably his max. He could get you 15 to 20 in 5 innings. He's probably my second favorite now that you're making me pick 3. Bubik's my number 1. Savale is going to be my number 2. And then Barrios my number 3.
Yeah, man. Now that I hear, 6'5", like I guess that's not the worst on this slate, but if a guy's in a groove and he's humming, at the end of the day, I don't want him to be pulled at 75, and like that's like the best scenario at the end of the day. My dude's rolling, Bubik's rolling. I want him to throw 95, 100 and get that 6-7 innings. So yeah, I'll probably toss Savale out. I appreciate you letting me know. Mine outside of those two, Bubik, Bumgarner, and I probably wouldn't touch anyone else. So there's 4 pitchers on this slate. I think you can keep it pretty easy. But that is pitching on the slate. Definitely not like yesterday. That is for sure. Hey, hit the like button as always, please. Hit that big red subscribe button. We always do appreciate it. Not going to set a number yet. I want to get you the plays of the day. So if I'm happy with it, it keeps going up throughout the show. We have a good number. I'm not going to set a number. We'll get you the plays of the day. If it gets a little hurtful, then I might have to set one. But hit the like, hit that big red subscribe button. We do have to talk about the members never win segment because there are a lot of winners recently. Drew CA, 8,000 in MMA. Nova, 8,000 in MMA. Toad Guard, 14,000 in NASCAR. T-Rab, 14,000 in PGA. Shibby, 15,000 in PGA. Michael Smith, 15,000 in PGA. Hockey 8812, 44,000 in PGA. Family Auto Rentals, 10,000 in MLB. And then CMO won 100,000 and 50,000 in MLB. Congrats to all the winners there. And like I said yesterday, I was looking at some of those screenshots. A lot of like $100 and 8K, $100 into 14,000. The golf ones, there's a lot of lower buy-in stuff, which just shows, I mean, you can have lower buy-ins. You don't need to be playing thousands and thousands to win all that money. It's really cool to see that stuff. A lot of those names are in Discord all the time. They're grinding all the sports. They're constantly grinding for those big wins. So congrats to you guys. That stuff is really awesome to see. Let's go. Let's break down bats on this slate. I'm going to start with the Coors Field game on this slate, though, because the Cardinals, again, are going to be the clear chalk on the slate, I think. You have a 12 total at Coors, or is it 12 up to 12 and a half now or something? The total has come up throughout the day. It's warm in Colorado again, 90 degrees there. Gary, I'll go to you first. How are you approaching the St. Louis chalk? If you do play St. Louis, like, are you just going to say, I'm not going to play Verlander with this since it's too hard to get different? Talk a little game theory about this game, and then any Colorado interest for you.
I mean, yeah, I definitely like that idea of going Sandy over Justin Verlander with Bubic if you're playing St. Louis. They're not my favorite on the stack, and they're probably not my favorite in this game. Again, I might be chasing here, but I kind of like the Colorado side a little bit better. But man, because looking at Kyle Freeland, his numbers versus righties are significantly better than they are versus lefties. This lineup is full of right-handed bats, except for Lars Newbar. I don't even know if he's going to be in the lineup tonight. But yeah, so there'll be a bunch of righties in here. I mean, you can always play Goldschmidt, Arenado, O'Neill, Carlson, but man, they're going to be the top-owned bats on the slate. They're the clear chalk on the slate. I'm probably going to go a different direction, and I'm going to go more on the Colorado side here. I just like this team. They just put up. I like hot teams. I like riding hot streaks. They just put up 16 runs yesterday. I'm not saying I'm not expecting that again here at all, but they have a couple hitters that are really hot recently. Randall Grichuk is really hot. I mean, he was 5 for 5 yesterday. I think he hit a dong yesterday as well. So looking for him to stay hot, and he's somewhat cheaper too. Let me see what his price is. 41. Yeah, 4,100. That's a really nice price on him. Another guy that's really hot is Montero. This, like you mentioned him yesterday on the show, I guess. I don't even know. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his first name, but 2,700. I wouldn't play him at first base, but definitely wouldn't mind plugging him in at third base for 2,700. He's going to be really low owned. He's got double-digit fantasy points in each of his last 4 games, I believe. So I'm definitely more – and C.J. Cron. I can't leave out C.J. Cron here. If you're stacking this team, you definitely have to have C.J. Cron in your stack. So I'm preferring on the Colorado side here. But like I said, I can't talk anybody off of playing Arenado or Goldschmidt. So
you mentioned 4, 5, 8 in that lineup. I got to mention my boy in the 6 hole, Elias Diaz. He also swings a pretty good stick. You fill out that catcher position, and he's 4.5K. No one's going to pay 4.5K for Diaz on this slate. They're going to try, if you're in that price range, like an Alejandro Kirk, or you try and go to one of the Cardinals catchers or something like that, a Salvi Perez sitting right there. People aren't going to spend that for Diaz, and I always like playing him. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think Colorado's interesting. Man, going to you. Coors Field. St. Louis is the chalk. What are you doing with them? Colorado, are they going to do what they did yesterday? Talk about the game for bets.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is hot here. I will say wind's looking like it's going to blow out. It's definitely not a bad spot for St. Louis or the Rockies. It's tough. I think I'm just like going to like have them in the pool and then see kind of what happens. I do like Atlanta and I do like Toronto. Those are 2 other stacks that I'm considering. Maybe I'll look to see and like play these guys more as like 3-man stacks and not 5-man, because I think some runs will be scored. They do have Kyle Freeland on the mound, and they have Jose Quintana, and those guys are not that bad at like limiting damage at times. I know they're known, like you look at that Cardinals team right now. I mean, before last night's game, they were I think they won 9 of their last 10 games, right? They were absolutely on fire. On top of that, like the Rockies, they just put up 16 runs. So people are definitely going to go to them, but I don't know if I'm just going to go and like play all the chalk in it, right? Just if you are going to play these guys, I'm going to find a way to make it different, right? Whether it's a 3-man stack, whether it's making sure with the 5-man being different with the way you set it up. Maybe it's with your pitching. Maybe you play like a Bumgarner and Syndergaard. Maybe you like both those guys and you just fade Verlander and Alcantara. Let me tell you, if you fade Verlander and Alcantara tonight, you are naturally different just in that way alone. So there are ways to make it different. You don't have to just full on fade Coors and call it a day. If you like to do that, that's fine. But there are ways to make it different. Just think about that. Maybe it's the way you make your 5-man stack. Maybe it's just doing a 3-man stack instead. Those are just things to think about. Maybe you say, hey, I don't like, let's say Lars Nootbaar's in the lineup and he's going to get a lot of ownership in a lefty-lefty and you see him at like 25%. Maybe you just say you're going to fade him. That way, you're making your Cardinal stacks different right away. There are ways to make your teams different always. You just have to think about it when you're kind of building out your teams. It's not about just fading one team and moving on. It's about the full lineup ownership. So that's something to think about for sure when building out your teams. So yeah, that's kind of my overall thoughts on this game.
Yeah, I wanted to start with Coors because it's the clear spot, the St. Louis side. You don't see the team totals over 7 really. It's very warm there. They're going to get a ton of ownership too. So that's why Verlander, St. Louis Cardinals, that's where the chalk is right away. Know that when you are building. So yeah, let's talk about the rest of these 8 games on DraftKings. Toronto Blue Jays, Baltimore Orioles, Jose Berrios and Dean Kramer on the mound. It's warm in Camden, about a little over 80 degrees. This is, again, the one weather spot that I think has the most risk. We're going to assume everything plays, but checking Discord, checking the Up the Lock show. Gary, I'll start with you again in this one. Any Blue Jays, any Orioles for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to like the Blue Jays here. I mean, Dean Kramer is another guy that struggles with right-handed bats in general. It's kind of reverse splits here. He's got a 442 WOBA against 302 ISO against the right-handed power bats. So yeah, I like this. I mean, the lineup looks good. Lourdes Gurriel leading off, Vlad, Kirk, Teoscar Hernandez back in the lineup after getting the day off yesterday. Matt Chapman just keeps on raking. So yeah, I have a lot of interest in both sides of this game because I do have interest in the Baltimore side as well against Berrios. I mean, his numbers against left-handed. I mean, while he's striking them out, he's got a low walk rate against lefties. He's giving up power and he's giving up hits. So yeah, Cedric Mullins looks nice. Adley Rutschman 4,300, Santander 4,400, and then going all the way down. Don't forget about Mateo in the 9-hole. He hits righties pretty good, 3,500. I mean, talk about a 1% on play. He steals bases. So yeah, I like both sides of this game a lot.
Yep, I like it. And again, if you're worried about stacking Toronto and you think you'll be too chalky or the Cardinals and all of this, the easiest way to get different on Toronto stacks, you just play Danny Jansen over Alejandro Kirk. Kirk is the better play on paper for sure. He's the better hitter, all of that. But you probably will see 4x, 5x the ownership on that. So wanted to point that out. Man, going Baltimore, Toronto, talk about this game for bets.
Yeah, I definitely like this game for bats. I mean, let's pull up some of Dean Kramer's numbers. I talked about him before, and they're pretty interesting over the last 30 days. Dean Kramer is definitely a guy we probably planned on picking on this year a little bit in DFS. This ballpark is not the best ballpark. Definitely something to be concerned about. X's around 5.3. Strikeout rate, not great, right? He's at like 15%. But the righties, he's giving up like a 440 WOBA, 300 ISO. I mean, Dean Kramer definitely has been getting beat up, and we got guys like Gurriel at the top of the lineup who we know he can hit some guys pretty good. Vlad Guerrero, Alejandro Kirk, Teoscar Hernandez, Bichette, who hit 2 home runs tomorrow, not tomorrow, yesterday.
Tomorrow when he hits 2 bombs, I'm going to remember that, man, going.
Yeah, definitely. It would be funny if he hits 2 tomorrow, but Matt Chapman, who's been absolutely crushing righties all year long. He's been like really good. So overall, this is a good lineup to attack Dean Kramer with. I like it. I talked about it yesterday. Toronto could also be really good for like a 3-man stack. And the reason why I think they could be really good for like that 3 or 2-man stack is you have some decent price tags. I talked about it yesterday. Bo Bichette, right? In a 3-man stack, he's just too cheap for his price tag. Let's see if they increase his price. No, it's still 4.5K. Teoscar Hernandez, 4.6. Alejandro Kirk, 4.4K. Like, those are really good price tags on those guys, where if you mix them in with some of these bomb the other guys, like maybe it's mixed in with like one of Espinal, 3K, they just fit like the mini stack really well. And Dean Kramer gives up so much power that I think some of these guys are going to get a hold of them and have a big game or two. So overall, I like Toronto I do like them as the 5-man, but I think they're really good as the mini stack too, just because these salaries are still pretty good on them. We don't have them all up in that 5K range right now. So they're pretty affordable. And I think they're definitely worth giving a look on this slate.
I like it. Two people that like this game stack. It's Warm and Camden. I think it definitely makes some sense. And outside of the Cardinals, I wouldn't worry about ownership too much on this slate because I think they are the clear ones. But yeah, Toronto should get some. I do not expect Baltimore to get really any ownership. Next game on the slate, Miami Marlins, Philadelphia Phillies, Sandy Alcantara, Noah Syndergaard on the mound. Gary, I want to go to you first because I want you to tell me who on Miami, if they get on, will probably steal on Syndergaard. And the lineup is out. They don't have a high implied total. I don't think 5-man stacking Marlins makes too much sense, but are a couple guys in there that will swipe a bag if they get walked or a single?
Yeah, I think we can look to Joey Wendell right at the top of the lineup. Miguel Rojas steals some bags, and then going down, I think Charles LeBlanc has a couple steals on the year, stone minimum 2K. You can play him at second base or third base. I don't think anybody else really in here is going to steal any bags. They had some other guy that didn't make the lineup that I was talking about earlier. I forget his name now.
I wish Birdie is he?
Yeah,
he's hurt, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still on the IL, unfortunately.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But yeah, I mean, those three guys would be. I mean, it's just one-offs though for me with Miami. I wouldn't even mini stack them. If you had say 4,100 left over at second base or shortstop, I wouldn't hate a Joey Wendell one-off there. So yeah, just mini stacks for me on those guys, on the stolen bags guys. And on the Philadelphia side, I can't play them. I know they've been pretty good against right-handed pitching over the last couple weeks to a month. I mean, Schwarber, Hoskins, Realmuto, Hall. I mean, they've just been hitting bombs. But Sandy's just a massive ground ball guy. He's so good. I'm not going to attack him. Just move on to the next game for me.
Yep, makes some sense, man. Going Phillies, Marlins.
Yeah, I mean, 7.5 total, not really a spot I'm looking to go to. Yeah, I just don't think I love this game. One thing I did want to mention, I probably should have mentioned the last game, as long as the weather's good, right? Baltimore's not terrible too, right? Rougned Odor is 2.1K, and he has power for that position. And again, that fits like those mini stacks for Baltimore. That's where I don't mind it. Maybe you play him in like a Santander, or you play like a him and Mullins, or you could play Adley too as well, who's at the catcher position. I think they have some really good mini stack potential within their lineup and power if you attack those lefties against Berrios.
I like it. Still a good amount of games on the slate. Let's check the likes. 375 watching, 162 likes, 225. I think 225 is a very reasonable number. Should be very easy to hit. Again, still a lot of games to target or to talk about on this slate. Takes 2 seconds out of your day. We should have 375 watching? Should have 375 likes. Unfortunately, that is not how this world works for some reason, but 225 is the number for the plays of the day. They were pretty decent yesterday. If you were watching the show, use the play of the day. Mangone got Jeff McNeil. He was low owned. He had a little dinger. Austin Riley was a little easier one, but he got the job done too. So like button, hopefully we can get you the plays of the day. Next game on the slate, Gary's Atlanta Braves taking on the Boston Red Sox. Kyle Wright and Nick Pivetta on the mound. It's cooler in Boston today. I felt like it was like over 80 yesterday, if I'm remembering correct. I think it's only 70 today. But man, Gary, the Braves did the job, got the job done yesterday. Are they going to get the job done against Pivetta? And then talk about the Boston side.
They are definitely going to get the job done for us today. I'm going right back to the well with my Braves. And they got a little min price guy there batting in the 9 hole today. I hit up DraftKings this morning. He wasn't in the player pool. They said, "Oh no, we can't add him today." And then I looked 2 hours later and he's added. Vaughn Grissom, he's stone minimum shortstop. He's the Braves' top prospect now that all the other Braves prospects have graduated to the majors. I mean, he's good. He's a similar athlete to a Michael Harris, except he plays the infield. He's going to play second base for us since Arcia went down yesterday with a hamstring injury. Power speed guy. He had 14 homers in the minors this year. 27 stolen bases. So tons of speed in our lineup. Love it. Stone minimum. Sucks that he's not second base, but maybe soon we'll get that eligibility there. But at 2K, man, he does a lot for your lineup, and you can just pair him right there with the 8-hole hitter Michael Harris, who's going to continue to be low owned while he's batting in the 8-hole. I'm seeing less than 5% ownership on him. I'm not sure it's going to be that low, but man, nobody ever plays this guy. His price is fair at 4,400, just a beast. And then I think my top bat on the slate, he's most definitely going to hit a dong here tonight. Matt Olson. I'm also seeing some low ownership on him. as everybody looks to play a Paul Goldschmidt tonight. So definitely love the Braves. They are my top stack. Shocker. I know all the memes are going to commence in Discord and maybe on this show. But the Braves are going to smash for us, and Matt Olson is definitely hitting a bomb, maybe 2 today.
Any Boston?
I don't hate Boston. I was screaming about the Braves too much. I forgot about Boston. Kyle Wright has not really been good. I don't hate targeting Kyle Wright with left-handed bats. Devers tops the list. I mean, 412 ISO, 394 WOBA last 30 days against right-handed pitching. Verdugo, for whatever reason, his numbers versus righties don't look that good over the last 30 days. But, man, it seems like whenever he's playing the Braves, he's getting a lot of hits, and he did the same last night. So definitely like the lefties here. And another guy that I like is Christian Arroyo. Since coming off the IL, I mean, man, this guy has been a hit city, 23, 5, 11, 10. I mean, he's done some hitting here for the Red Sox here. So I don't hate a little mini stack or game stack of this game either, actually. So, yeah.
I don't mind. I mean, you didn't like Kyle Wright. I don't mind some Boston. Should be really low owned. My favorite is almost always in the Atlanta Braves lineup is Michael Harris, though, in tournaments for all the reasons you said. It's good the price is where it is. I mean, it was awful when he was 2-6 because even when he was in the 8 or 9 hole, some people still played it. Mangone, Boston, Atlanta, talk about it.
Yeah, I'm not dying to play Boston here in this spot just because, I mean, if you look like Kyle Wright, like he's pretty good against righties. And like a lot of these like righties are like the guys you want to roster on Boston, right? Like, sure, I'm not going to tell you Rafael Devers is a bad idea. Alex Verdugo as a salary relief play, that's perfectly fine. But like he definitely suppresses a lot of power to righties. So that is like a concern for me with Boston. So not really going to be on them that much. Mainly like if you find like a one-off of Devers or some of these other guys, it's okay, but not looking to load up on Boston. Atlanta, they're definitely in play today. I like them. One thing to mention is like Boston, the reason why you typically like this ballpark and you want to play like Atlanta bats is typically you want to play the righties, right? Like, because it's better for them. This is just a better park for them for home runs. It's a little bit harder for those left-handed bats. So I do think Atlanta's going to have a good game. I do like them in this spot, but I am a little cautious about it. I wouldn't be completely surprised if some of these like lefties just like, didn't hit home runs, because again, that's a hard part of the park to hit it out. Now, Pivetta, he struggles a ton. WOBA is 530, ISO is 350. I mean, he's getting absolutely crushed. So it is worth mentioning that, but it's something to think about for sure. The one thing too to like about the Braves lineup, and this is probably the most important point to mention, and we talk about a lot on these slates, is when people play some of these teams, like let's say you play the Phillies. The Phillies, typically that 1 through 5 is just so high owned, right? And then like that bomb the order doesn't really get owned. And a lot of people just load up on that 1 through 5. The one thing that's nice about this Braves lineup is you feel like you can play anyone from that 1 through like 9, and you're getting, a spread out ownership. And on top of that, you got this like shortstop here that's like a 2K punt that I'm not saying you want to fade Dansby Swanson, but if you do decide to, well, you have a 2K punt that can help make things work for your lineup, which is very encouraging. So overall, the reason I like the Braves the most for me is like, just because the 1 through 9, I think you'll be able to like mix and match and find some differentiation plays throughout the lineup. And they have some salary plays as well. So I like the Braves here in this spot. I'm curious what their overall ownership is going to be. Like, do we think between them and the Cardinals, like, is it going to be spread out, or are they the highest owned team? Like,
Cardinals got to be by a mile.
I think the Cardinals are going to be twice the ownership of the Braves.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay,
that's what I figured. You don't know sometimes. Sometimes it splits more than you think, and it depends on like what
their
that
total
lineup is.
Their total is probably 2 runs higher right now.
Oh, I agree, but like if you don't have salary relief plays on the Cardinals, then it will change, right? Like if I told you all of the Cardinals like today were like over like 4 or 5K, like it would be a lot more different, because naturally you wouldn't be able to, like, if you don't have Lars Nootbaar, you don't have Albert Pujols or Yadier Molina, then that changes things. So like that's the real debate.
Yeah, they got Paul DeJong down there, 3,400 too, who's been on fire. I mean, he's just going to be mega chalk on this.
The guys that would be in for him, I don't think are over like 4K. You know what I'm saying?
I assume the Cardinals just have like 2 cheapest salaries where they're going to be the highest one. But it's just a talking point about like how you can figure out what ownership is, right? And like that's why we see on like those slates like in September when like the Dodgers are all like 5K and above, and then like they don't come in with as much ownership. Well, that's because everyone's paying up for pitchers, and like then you can't literally get them into your lineup. So It just depends what lineup is brought out there. And then you have to think about what the ownership's going to be. But that's one thing that I like, again, about this Braves stack is they do have some salary relief plays in there that can help make some stuff work as well. Like Eddie Rosario, 3K. He's a really nice option, obviously. Gary talked about liking Matt Olson as a lefty there. Eddie Rosario is going to be good. I mean, up and down, that's the thing I really like about this Braves line, because I feel like I can just play anyone, and I just feel like I have like good players no matter what. I don't feel like I have this like dusty option that's like maybe going to get me like 4 DK points.
Yeah, that's always the best appeal with the Braves. I agree. We have the biggest Braves truther in the world on the panel. He likes them again. Hopefully they get the job done like they did yesterday for us again. Let's get to the next game on the slate. Cleveland Guardians, Detroit Tigers, Aaron Savale, Drew Hutchinson on the mound. Going right back to you, man. Any interest in this one?
Yeah, the Savale and Drew Hutchinson. Well, Drew Hutchinson's not that great, right? So you could make an argument for the Guardians. I do think if you look at some of their salaries and like, let's say you lock in Verlander and Alcantara, I assume on SaberSim, what would happen is you would have a lot of the Guardians popping up into your lineups, especially as like 3-mans and 5-mans, because you have Josh Naylor at 4K there, right? You got Nolan Jones at 3.1K, Will Benson's at 2K. But I mean, that entire bottom of the lineup just has salary relief plays. And the only real spend up that like feels like a priority in there is Jose Ramirez at 5.8K. So overall, I think the Guardians are not a team that you want to completely sleep on here. I think they're definitely a good play in this spot. Probably might like them more as the 3-man stack rather than the 5-man. But again, if you do lock in both those pitchers, don't be surprised if you get kind of loaded up with a bunch of Guardians, because Drew Hutchinson, for one, not really a good pitcher. It's going to be 85 degrees in this game. And then you might dive into the bullpen a little bit. And like, let's say Drew Hutchinson is real bad. You're going to get the really awful bullpen arms then after that. So I do think the Guardians are definitely in play here in this spot.
Gary, do you agree? Guardians in play, and then any Tigers?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like a little bit of Guardians, and I agree with Travis too. Like the mini stack, I can't 5-man this team. I mean, outside of Rosario, Ramirez, Naylor, and Gimenez, that's really the only 4 that I have any real interest in. So if I only have interest in 4 of the guys, I'm not going to 5-man them. So definitely like them. I definitely like the other spots more. But yeah, I'll have a little bit.
Makes some sense. 5 games left on this slate. We got 192 likes. 225 is the number for the plays of the day. So a little work to be done. Still got some time though. Like button, subscribe button takes 2 seconds. Now we do have a promo code going on right now at Run Pure Sports. NFL 15 gets you 15% off every single month for life if you do not cancel. SaberSim is also included. I mean, it's a very, very good deal. You will not find better. I saw a Hoop tweet yesterday that I don't know how long it's going to be going for. So that's something to note. If you do join, make sure you do get in the Discord as well. Premium show will be coming up. That is members only. It's a very fun show. Get DC's takes. Stevie Boyton's on there today. Big T's usually on there. There's a golf show today as well. It's already happened. I think 1:30 it happened. JSU, Big T, and then a special guest, Alex, who's been on a heater. They broke down some PGA. So if you're in those streets, make sure to check that out. NFL 15 is the promo code. Gets you 15% off. 5 games left. Texas Rangers, Houston Astros, Glenn Otto, Justin Verlander on the mound. If you want the easiest leverage on the slate, it's very easy. You go to Texas. It's not something I'll be doing, though. And as far as Houston, a decent total. Man, I'll go back to you in this one. Astros, Texas, who do you got, or what do you like?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think you brought up really good points. Like Houston, like they're certainly in play against Glenn Otto. They're going to be very contrarian and low owned. If you look to, they have some salary relief within their lineups too, to be able to jam in these top end options like Yuli Gurriel, 3.3K. Kyle Tucker is only 4.4K. We paid a lot more for him. I mean, we paid more for Pena too at 4.1. And then at the bottom of the order, we have 3 guys below 3K. So overall, this is not a bad spot for the Astros, just like no ownership completely. Again, more people are going to gravitate towards the Cardinals. They're going to consider the Rockies again. They're going to go to probably Atlanta and then like the Blue Jays. Like, I just think Houston gets way overlooked here. So I think they're definitely in play for a nice contrarian stack on this slate. Gary,
what are your thoughts on this one?
I mean, yeah, at the beginning of the season, man, I played Houston almost every slate, it seems like. But I'm looking at their last 30-day numbers versus right-handed pitching in conjunction with Otto's last 30 numbers. And, man, it doesn't make me want to play them tonight. Literally Altuve, Gurriel, Pena, McCormick, Dubon, Maldonado, they all have WOBAs under 300 against right-handed pitching over the last 30 days. I mean, Alvarez is struggling a little bit. He's got wrist issues. I mean, sure, you can always play Kyle Tucker. I can't do it today. I like these other spots better. So I'm not going to have any of this game.
Makes some sense. I do got to shout out my boy Bobby Gomes. He said Astros for the money. So anyone out there, we don't like the Astros as much. Mangone and Gary didn't. I don't love them too much as well. I think there definitely are other spots I like, but Bobby Gomes likes them. He's been on a little bit of heater as well. So hope everything's going well. Bobby Gomes. Next game on the slate. This game is only on DraftKings. The Chicago White Sox, the Kansas City Royals, Johnny Cueto, Chris Bubik on the mound. Head over to you in this one, Gary. Good hitting weather, about 85 degrees. You like Bubik, though, so I assume no White Sox. Any Royals for you?
Yeah, I can't do it on this slate. I prefer like Baltimore, even Miami over the cheaper mini stacks for a cheaper mini stack than Kansas City on this slate. And yeah, I'm going to have quite a bit of Bubik on this slate, so no hitters for me in this game.
Man, go.
Yeah, I'm fading this game. Don't think I need to go there. We got to make some stands somewhere, so no chance I'm playing anyone here in this spot.
We actually only have 2 games left. I was looking at that Coors Field game, but we already did talk about that. So 2 games left. Pittsburgh Pirates, Arizona Diamondbacks, Mitch Keller, Madison Bumgarner on the mound. Go back to you in this one, man. Going anything?
Yeah, I don't mind Arizona. Mainly, I mean, I did talk about liking Mitch Keller a little bit, but I did mention those lefties are interesting. So the lefties I'm considering, Jake McCarthy at 3.1K. And I'm considering these guys mainly as a mini stack because, again, these salaries help make things work. They help make my lineups work. And I'm able to get in those top end arms and the top bats, right? If you are going to play an Alcantara with a Verlander, Arizona is probably going to be a team that helps me make it happen. So Jake McCarthy, 3.1K, Alec Thomas, 3.7, definitely in play there. Kendall Marte's 5K. I'm probably not going to end up spending on him unless I have some spend down pitchers where I have the money to do it. But Christian Walker at 3.8K. Definitely in play. Dalton Varsho, 4.3. I'm willing to spend that just because he's a lefty and he's one of their better hitters. I'm not looking to play Rivera at 2K. If I do play a 2K option, I think it might be Seth Beer. That might be the guy that I end up going to. Or it could be a Perdomo at shortstop, just at 2.6. Mainly, I don't like Perdomo, but the key with him is just shortstop should just be a punt position, right? I'd rather punt there than I think the third base spot. But if you find that third base is the better punt position for you, then go with that. Just depends how it fits within your stack. So these are things that I'll do in SaberSim, right? I'm going to run some teams, see what 3-man stacks fit, how they fit with my 5-man, and then kind of go from there. Because I do think Arizona is in play, and it's mainly those lefty bats I'm looking at.
Makes some sense. AP in chat, he said hurtful. I'm assuming that's nobody having interest in his Royals. That's a little hurtful. So if you do have questions about the Royals, hit up AP in Discord, see if he is on them today. Gary, going to you in this one. You probably like the Diamondbacks more, but can I interest you in a little Michael Chavis action against Bumgarner? Might get some ownership coming off a little double dong. Any Chavis for you? But talk about this game.
Man, I never play that guy. I don't.
He treated me really well yesterday on a late swap.
He's not going to do it 2 days in a row. I'll tell you that. But I can't play. I know I'm not on Bumgarner, but man, I can't play any Pittsburgh bats. I know they're cheap. They're all dirt cheap, but I can't do it. And on the Arizona side too, not really much interest outside of what Mangone already said, the lefties, and maybe some Carson Kelly in the 8-hole. He hits right-handed pitching pretty good, but I doubt I'm going to have much of this game.
1 game left on the slate. We need 18 more likes for the plays of the day. So talk about this game. We're going to then talk about the stacks. Going to look back. Hopefully we have 225 by that time to get you the plays of the day. Going right back to you in this one, Gary. Minnesota Twins, Los Angeles Dodgers, Sonny Gray, and Ryan Pepoy. Again, you say the name, I forget it half the way through, but you know what I'm talking about. We got what? Little under 80 degrees in Los Angeles today. Max Muncy, he's been swinging a little hotter stick, that's for sure. Homered yesterday. Can you make the case for any of these Dodgers and any Twins?
You can play the Dodgers pretty much any slate. They're just a loaded offense. Max Muncy, Cody Bellinger, they're starting to heat up a little bit, which is scary for the rest of the league because it's starting to come together for them. But, man, looking at these prices, it's really hard to pay these prices when especially, you're definitely going to have to pay to play a cheap guy, a cheap pitcher with these guys. So I'm probably not going to be having any Dodgers. I'm just going to stick with those first couple games that we talked about and the St. Louis, Colorado game for the most part. So I'm not going to have any bats here.
Makes sense. Pepio. I don't know why every time I look at it, I can't pronounce it and then I can't read. Pepio. Mangone, Pepio, Sonny Gray on the mound. You trying to pick on any of these?
No, I mean, not really. And back to my point with the Dodgers, look at the projected lineup. Like, their cheapest guy is Joey Gallo at 3.5K. Every single other guy is over 4K. So, like, you are going to get these guys really low owned throughout the lineup. It's definitely going to be the case. So, if you want to play them at lower ownership, it's perfectly fine. It's just not for me against Sonny Gray. More of a ground ball guy, not really someone I'm looking to attack. And I'm not looking to attack this ballpark right now. I'm going to wait till September to kind of get back on that park. So I think I'm fine fading the Dodgers. If you want to take him as one-offs here and there, like I'm not Xing him from the pool. Like I think if you are like building in Saber Sim and you get a one-off of like, I don't know, a Will Smith at catcher at 5.1K to help make your team a little different, I wouldn't just be like moving him out of my lineup. But again, I'm hoping I don't have like 50% of them. I would definitely be like kind of like lowering that down and making sure I get a max of some of these Dodgers as well. But of course, these guys are definitely one-offs that could be differentiators that have like a 2 home run game that could break the slate for you.
Yeah, I still haven't decided what I want to do with the Dodgers. I mean, if you look, their implied total is good. It's one of the highest on the slate. You talked about the ownership. Yeah, I don't have the lineup out, but man, it is going to be so low today for these Dodgers. The late night hammer. The thing is, like, I don't love picking on Sonny Gray. I don't love picking on this Minnesota bullpen, but Vegas likes something about it. They're stacked top to bottom. So I don't know. I am on the core plays today. Dodgers could be in it. That is one of the teams I am considering. It'll be up on the premium side. But man, just a game theory aspect. This loaded lineup, no ownership. They are expensive, so it's tough to get. It's an interesting spot, I think. But yeah, I agree. Sonny Gray and the bullpen scares me off. It'll be interesting what I do with that, though. But that is all 9 games on this slate. Verlander, the chalk at pitching. Cardinals, the chalk at hitting. After that, yeah, there's going to be some concentrated ownership at some of the spots, but definitely not nearly as much as Verlander or the Cardinals. Again, do monitor the weather in Baltimore and Toronto. But that is all 9 games. Let's go. Let's talk about stacks. Cardinals are not allowed to be talked about. Gary, give me your top 3. Braves 1. Who's 2 and 3?
So I can talk about the Rockies because you didn't say I couldn't talk about the Rockies.
You can talk about the Rockies. Yep.
Rockies are my second favorite stack, followed by Toronto. And then my favorite mini stack is going to be Baltimore.
I like it. Mangone.
I'm not allowed to mention St. Louis. Is that the only one?
Correct.
Okay, just making sure. So we'll go with it. I'm going to go with Atlanta 1. I'm going to go Toronto 2. And then I'm going to go with Arizona 3. And mainly because they're like my favorite mini stack on this slate. Like I definitely like them as those 3-mans. I think they're going to fit my teams pretty well there. So that's my overall setup.
I like it. Before, again, I'm not going to look at the likes yet. Before that, I do want to just say like button, subscribe button. We always appreciate it. And then we do have the promo code NFL15. Gets you 15% off every single month. Head over to Run Pure Sports. Check it out. You will not be disappointed. Make sure you get in the Discord as well. And then the Underdog promo code. It's best ball season for sure. I see a bunch of RPS logos in the DraftKings best balls. I see a bunch of familiar faces in the Underdog ones. Simon, Snyder, Big T. Yes, Big T, you heard that right. Did get in an Underdog draft as well. Probably going to take last place in the league. Snyder or Simon are going to ship, but check out the best ball shows we've had. Underdog, we have a promo code with them. Run Pure is the code. Matches your deposit up to $100. So head over there, check it out. Like button, 232 likes. We appreciate you guys getting the job done for us. We're going to get you the plays of the day right now. I will start with myself first with the SO play of the day. Man, this one's tough. I wish I did not start with myself. I know where Gary's going to go with this one, so I'm going to join him on the same team. And I'm going to go Michael Harris, 4.4K. He's always my favorite Brave when I do play them. Down there, I'm seeing less than 5% ownership. Maybe he comes in 6, 7, 8, who knows? But single-digit ownership. Michael Harris is a stud in the 8-hole, 4.4K as the SO play of the day. Got to go right to you, Gary, on this one. The groundhog play of the day. Who is it?
I like that play quite a bit. He's going to be on my main team as well, as will Matt Olson, 4,800 against Nick Pivetta, who struggles mightily against left-handed power bats. Sign me up. He's going to hit one tonight. Matt Olson.
That my guess was correct. I do like it, Gary. Mangone, Sweet Travis play of the day. Give us a back-to-back one.
Yeah, we got Jeff McNeil right yesterday, so that was really nice. We're going to an offense that I'm curious to see what their ownership is going to be today. We're going to Toronto Blue Jays. I talked about wanting to pick on Dean Kramer with some of these power righties. No, I'm not making you spend all your salary on Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at 6K, even though I think he is a good play. I'm making you play Teoscar Hernandez at 4.6K. He hits a lot of his pitch types really well. On top of that, I just think you're going to get him for like a lower like price today, or lower ownership, mainly because some of the other guys that are in this range that people are going to go to. And again, 4.6K, that's not bad for Teoscar Hernandez. He's in that 4-hole too. So you'll get exposure to some really good at-bats with guys on base and some good opportunities. So give me Teoscar Hernandez as my play of the day.
Teoscar Hernandez, Matt Olson, Michael Harris, the 3 plays of the day. I see Richie Smalls in chat talking about the best ball drafts. I got you hooked. Yeah, I see you once in a while, Richie Smalls, in the same underdog drafts as well. So hope everyone out there drafting is having some fun with that. NFL season right around the corner. Cannot wait for that. Preseason football tomorrow. 2 games. Got some prize pools up on DraftKings. We'll have content as always. Rubio, Kurt, JSU, Big T. It is always fun in those streets. So check that out. PGA locks tonight or tomorrow morning. I always get my lineups in tonight. I don't wake up for that, but make sure you check it out. Big prize pools. Check out Mangone and the crew on the actually the Run Pure Sports side later, talking some golf as well. 8 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, what's the times of the show, man? Going, I think 12:30 Eastern or something. Make sure to check, but it's an early slate for baseball. I think there's only like 2 games later in the day, and it's a big early slate. There's only 2 on the main slate. There's only 2 on that late, like normal time. Tomorrow the show will be at 12 p.m. Eastern. So it'll be me, it'll be DC, and it'll be Holden. So we'll be talking some MLB with you guys tomorrow, and then there'll be no show for like the 2-gamer or whatever. I mean, just it's a 2-game slate. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just play game theory. We'll have all the other core plays. We'll have playbooks. We'll have all the stuff for you guys. So at least you guys can check that out. Absolutely. 12 p.m. Eastern. Check the guys out on the free channel. It's a good early slate. And then if you are playing the 2-game slate or whatever, people will talk about it in Discord as always. Free NFL preseason show as well tomorrow at 6 p.m. Simon just told me. So, hey, more content, preseason show. You love to see that. I'm excited to tune into that. Tons of content as always. Hit that like button. Hit that big red subscribe button so you're notified when we go live. But we're going to get on out of here, join the live show chat, talk to the guys, and ask them questions on the Up to Lock show about this slate. We're getting on out of here, though. For Gary, for Mangone, Simon behind the sticks, I'm Titletown. Good luck, everybody.